Yo, what is up? Welcome back to the Culture and Cannabis Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Full-Time Tony, here with the one, the only, JC Goat! Oh, we have a, what's it called? We have a now sound box.
Let's get that. Oh, there it is. Let's get that thing in action, man.
We have the mini sound box now.
All my dreams are coming true. We have the mini sound box on the podcast.
Thanks, Rick. It doesn't have the but we'll work up towards that. We'll work up towards that.
It's all a process.
But listen, man, hey, welcome back to Vegas.
Welcome back to Vegas.
I feel Tony. A little not uneasy, but like kind of, you know how you have to get like your Vegas sea legs?
Yes.
And you have to get your Oklahoma sea legs. Like I feel like I just have all I have is sea legs all the time. So we're just traveling so much.
I mean, yeah, it takes a toll on you, you know, a little bit. I mean, the weather's different, the people are different, the vibe is different.
We almost got fucked up by a tornado.
We did. Real talk.
Twice.
Yeah. It was a full-on tornado, not a watch, but an actual warning, right? And if you're from the Oklahoma area, when it goes full-on warning zone,
you're like, yo, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Dog, it's like, you know, it's real talk.
Just a quick story before we dive into our guests. Just a quick story. So we Sunday night we're watching the Bills game, obviously, and I'm going fucking berserk at this bar, New State Burgers in the Plaza District. JC and Joy are like, dude, you got to calm down, and all of a sudden out of nowhere it just starts pouring fucking rain. The channel changes from the Bills game. I'm getting fucking pissed, and it's like tornado watch hitting southern Oklahoma, you know, takes shelter, and then I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. Like people all the time tell me tornadoes not that big of a deal out here, whatever. So we have to leave New State Burgers because they won't change the game back. So we're like, and we come outside and it's just pouring fucking rain, like literally like downpouring. Like me, Joy, and JC are just like running through this fucking rain, jumping into puddles. It was crazy, but we had a good time. It was fun. It was good. Fast forward to Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, okay? There was like a little bit of a storm that was happening, and we go to bed that night, and then I wake up around like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I hear the tornado sounds. The woo! Yeah, that one. And it sounds like, you know, it's like, what's that one movie? The movie where they kill it, like The Purge. It sounds like The Purge, right? And so I'm awake, I'm like, oh, fuck. And I get the Amber Alert on my phone about the tornado, and I bust into JC and Joy's room. I'm like, yo, I think a tornado's about to hit us. And Joy pops up, she gets all ready, and JC's like, close the fucking door, we're fine. And I'm just like, are we sure about this? And
I wasn't trying to get out of bed for that, man. You know, I've been around a few tornadoes, and you know, I wasn't really scared of this one.
So that was my story. That's my first ever tornado. Like legit, my heart dropped. I was like, yo, we're gonna have to hop in the car and like dip out of here. It's like the day after tomorrow type shit.
You were like, I don't know, I don't want to scare you guys, but
that's what I said.
But like listen, the alarm's going off, there's lightning, there could be a tornado on the way, but
And then we found out like the next day from someone at our meeting. Shout out to Ryan over at Cultivation Club, that
there was a tornado
that was like a mile and a half from the Plaza District. So, but I heard it wasn't that bad. So.
Yeah. Hey man, this is dangerous out in Oklahoma.
It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here.
Crazy out here. Listen, we got a great guest.
JC,
on the podcast.
Who the fuck do we got today, bro?
We got a really great guest, man. It's some more of our friends from the great Sooner State of Oklahoma. We have Sabah and Brannan from the Cannabis Hangout on the show today. Ladies, how you doing?
Hey boys, what's up?
What's going on?
Nice. How's everything going? You good? No tornadoes today, or we got past the tornadoes?
No tornadoes today. We're laughing at your tornado stories. It's funny hearing it from people who aren't from Oklahoma. It doesn't faze us. I'm like, what tornado? I slept right through all of that.
Yeah, no, I was for sure sketched out. I was like, the next day I was like, usually when you hear sirens in Vegas, someone's won something, but this was not me winning anything.
Yeah,
so
it
wasn't fun.
It's crazy. But listen, but before we go on about the tornadoes, let's quickly jump into who you two ladies are and what you got going on.
So we are the Cannabis Hangout. I'm Sabah.
And I'm Brannan.
And we are two girls out of Oklahoma who saw a gap in the industry in regards to education and all the stigmas attached to cannabis. And
whenever State Question 788 passed here in Oklahoma, we ran with it.
Yeah, and so we were in a creative rut, and a podcast just sounded really cool. And honestly, all of our stars aligned. A lot of stuff was donated to us, and one thing led to another. And 94 episodes later, here we are.
Yep.
Nice. Ooh, the podcast. The podcast is special to me. And I'm sure it's become special to you. I mean, I even met this guy, Tony, through podcasting. Crazy enough. We don't even think about it that much, but it did come up on our trips. I was like, where did you guys meet? And we actually met through podcasting. I'm starting to talk about it more, but it's like every week for the last, I think, coming on 5 years, we've produced a podcast. And it's been a crazy experience. Let's talk about what your podcast is, the frequency of it, and what's the main message.
Yeah, so our podcast, a new episode launches every Sunday at 7 p.m. And we interview people who are in the industry, medical marijuana patients, and just like our homies, our friends, just anyone in state, out of state.
That's making a wave in the industry, and patients who have stories to tell. We have anyone from addicts to veterans that have PTSD
to autistic children.
Yeah, and it's cool to see the scope that one plant can heal so many people, and we're here to bridge the gap between education and what there is a lack of. And
it's just cool that cannabis, like, that brings everyone together. It's just wild that, like, one plant, it brings so many different walks of life together, and we have the pleasure of being in that community and getting to, like, talk to everybody and interview them and listen to a bunch of really cool stories that are really inspiring.
Yeah. Pretty dope.
That's so cool. That's right.
Yeah, that's the best.
I mean, that's what makes our industry beautiful, right?
Yeah, and I just think it's so dope because, like, you know, when we came into the market, the Oklahoma market, you guys were like one of the first people we identified, like, of when it comes to like cannabis influencing people that are in cannabis media, and people don't realize how important cannabis media is. What does cannabis media like mean to you guys, and why is it so important?
Man, cannabis media. So Brannan and I have known about social media separately, but I feel like now that we're in a space where we hold so much space, cannabis media is so much. I mean, from the brands that we choose to rep and everything that we try, people really trust in what we do and our opinions, and we keep it 100 in the partnerships that we have, the relationships we build. We're always going to keep it real because we do this for the people, because we are the people. And so in order for us to be the most educational and the most unbiased, we just keep it real. And so cannabis media, with everything that we do, whether it's giving opinions, whether it's education on certain terpenes, you know, all of it, I feel like ties into one another. And it's that influence that you have on the community and I hate the word influence, but what you provide to the community. And I mean, so many people take what we say to account and go try products or strains or certain terpenes based on that. So, I mean, cannabis media there's so much to it. It's crazy. I feel like it's just now being tapped into, and once it becomes federally legal, I think there's so much space for what could happen.
Even more, yeah.
Yeah,
that's well said.
It's cannabis and media, like, they've always kind of gone hand in hand, because especially like, you know, coming from the legacy days and, you know, the early days of it becoming legal and stuff like that, like, you know, there wasn't a lot of places for cannabis content creators to go to, right? Or even places to go to where you could consume, you know, cannabis content. You know, I can remember, it might have been, I don't know, many years ago, I went to this it was like a glass show, and everyone, they had these business cards, right? And like, you know, they didn't have their emails and their phone numbers on it. They had their Instagram handle on it, right? And it's like, that's, you know, and that's where I was able to uncover like this whole like group of people creating like, you know, personal media and promoting themselves, you know, that way in this cannabis community. I think that's why it's so important that what y'all do, right, is because people can, you know, find a great source of education, right? With what we got going on over there. What's happening over there? Is the podcast?
We're having a lot of technical difficulties over here. Okay, we were kind of unprepared for this, so just 2 seconds, boys. Hang on. Brandon, will you fix that? Just unplug my phone.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, listen, podcasting. I mean, what do you think, Tony? Add to this, like.
It's just what people don't realize is that cannabis media, like how important cannabis media is long term. Like people look at it so short sighted. You know, whenever we talk to certain cannabis license holders, they don't understand the importance of social media and building a community and building a brand. They just think it's like, because and the way that it's set up, these privileged markets don't allow the opportunity for media to flourish because there's no opportunity to do advertising through them because there's not that much competition. But in places like Oklahoma, for example, everyone's in the market, right? So cannabis media influencing gets to thrive a little bit, I think, better, right? And that's why, dude, I've been posting about these Oklahoma Instagram influencers, content creators. Like, yo, California's got to be a little bit worried, bro, because like these guys are coming up the rear, man, and they're gonna probably take over the scene here.
Yeah, I mean, some of the most hustle I've seen is in cannabis content creators. You know what I mean?
And
you don't see it in other industries like you see it in the cannabis industry. Right?
Well, and I would even double down on that and say, like, even for Oklahoma, for example, right? It's because for them out there, like the cats that are doing it, right? They're also like working in dispensaries, or they're selling, they're brokering product, or they work for 5 different companies, right? And so I just think it's so interesting. And so the fact that there is so many dispensary owners, license holders in Oklahoma, that's what makes it so special, right? It gives you the opportunity where there is a chance for multiple cannabis media companies to rise and prosper, and great things like the Cannabis Hangout, right? Like the reason why the Cannabis Hangout became accessible is because of the Oklahoma cannabis market,
right? I mean,
which is so dope.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of your podcast journeys. Did we get situated over there?
I think so. Hold on, Brannan.
I think it went. There we go. It's cool.
There we go.
It's good enough.
Is the live being normal for you guys? Ours keeps giving us a red thing, and that's why we're having a lot of technical.
The live is on Facebook.
The live's working. The live on Instagram I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, perfect. All right, dope. Well, let's talk about the podcast. What were you guys saying? Ask your question.
Let's talk about some of your favorite guests, right, on your podcast, right? Who stood out, and what have you guys learned the most from podcasting?
Man, Tony and JC from Culture and Cannabis, for sure. Shout out to you guys. Honestly, you guys talk about, I just want to go back to what you guys said. You guys were talking about when we first met, and I remember Brannan and I walked away from that being like, it is so cool, because here's something that Oklahoma is super protective about, and that's our market and other people, out-of-state people coming into it. And I hear that from a lot of patients. We're just really protective of what's our own, and we don't want, what's the word I'm looking for? Corporate cannabis to take over. And so that was one thing that I loved that you guys did. You guys are literally culture and cannabis. You wanted to integrate yourselves as people into the Oklahoma culture and build that rapport with us before you just forced your product in here. And I think that was one thing that Brannan and I both agreed on. We were like, wow, they're such cool people. They have so much respect. And it was so natural and fluid with you guys. Like, there was no extra. And then even since then, I mean, you guys have made strides with the community. And I know everyone here loves you and talks so highly of you too. So, I mean, thank you for what you guys are doing for the Oklahoma community. It's really dope to see and how much respect you guys came in with, which I think that's a big deal, and people love that.
I agree.
Thank you. It was all Tony's idea. Just
Teamwork.
kidding.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
But some of our favorite episodes, I think one that stood out to me a lot, and that's because I use this product religiously, was Peter from 1906. That is, so 1906 are these drops that we have here in Oklahoma that we swear by. It's essentially like pills, but it serves a very specific purpose in your life, microdosing with cannabis. My favorite is Go. I love to take that in lieu of like drinking a coffee or as pre-workout. Yes. Chill is really good if like my body's really hurting, and like Bliss is really good if I'm having a lot of anxiety. So, just filling holes in my medicine cabinet where I don't necessarily want big pharma. But we got to interview Peter from this brand, and he was the guy kind of behind it. And it was so cool to hear everything that he said, how really he had this whole vision behind the brand. And I feel like it was more so tailored towards women, I feel like, which was really, really cool. Yeah. And he was just a very inspiring dude, and how long and how much effort they took into making the product that they do for the patients, I thought was really cool. Like, the Go took 5 years to make, but with the plant medicine and the cannabis medicine, which I thought was really cool. But that was probably one of my favorite ones that really like stood out in regards to like super educational, super just like informational, and like really getting to know the product and the people behind the brand.
Yeah, they were good. All Tara with Hyatt Tara on Instagram.
Yeah.
When we talked to her about autism along with Paula, who's autism and cannabis on Instagram, and it's just cool hearing like a mother's perspective and how they treat their children with cannabis, you know, edibles and dosing, like microdosing, to be able to help them out and just watch them help their kids.
Yeah, without having to do what like normal medicine tells them to do, and they're kind of going against the grain and going against what people say, and watching these beautiful changes in their kids, and you know, their kids responding in ways that they never had before. And it's really cool diving in with these moms and them being vulnerable and sharing their journey and how hard it is to be a mother with an autistic kid. Like I can't imagine. And it's just beautiful to see these women making strides in our community and opening these doors for other women and other moms to say like, hey, it's okay to use this form of medicine with your kid if this works for you, and you're doing it in like a very mindful and, you know, watchful way.
Yeah.
Which I think was really cool.
It's dope. It's like there's such rich stories. You know what I mean? Like the whole process, the content marketing process of podcasting is such a rich experience, and it's different than blogging or taking pictures or, you know, going to a party and paying somebody $200 to do a recap video, right? Like it's a long form, in depth process, right? That you know, you get these really deep connections with people. Podcasting is quite a trip, man. You know, congratulations on what you're accomplishing over there. So let's talk about like how do you build your podcast community, right? So like how would, like, if I'm listening, I'm like, well, I always wanted to do a podcast, but like, you know, it's more than just turning on the microphone to inviting your friends over and having a conversation, right? Like, so how do you build a community? Right. How do you grow it? And where do you see you growing over the next, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
Man, growing the community, I know it's a lot of putting yourself out there and attending events and going to places like the Sesh in Oklahoma City with other fellow cannabis consumers. And I mean, really, social media is, you know, so powerful these days, you know. Yeah,
interacting with the community, really like the information we put out there, making sure it's educational, getting like other people's feedback. So we like to ask people what they want to see and what people they would like to see on the podcast, and
or what topics they might want covered. Like we try to focus on engaging with people, you know, and it not just be like, oh, look at us podcasting. Like let's actually like talk as a community and like invite people to have conversations with us.
Even with the captions that we choose on our social media, that's something that we like to be really mindful of, where we like to keep people engaging, and we like to keep people, you know, like they're a part of our podcast with us. Even when we're having conversations, we don't want the person listening to not feel like they're just hanging out with us. Like
we want them to feel like that they're the part of the conversation.
Yeah, they're at the table with us, and that's how we kind of want it to relate to all of our platforms throughout. And so
I think also like being ourselves and being just like really authentic and the genuine like people who we are. And I think that's attractive, you know, to be personable and be relatable and to come off like that to others, and for them to feel like that they can connect with other real people who use cannabis. And, you know, it's not just like a show or a production being put on. It's like, it's actual community and connection.
Yeah. And that's why I think your guys' podcast resonates so much in that community, is that you guys are involved in what's happening. You guys are at the events. You guys are connecting with the people at these events. You're connecting with the brands. You're trying the products. And speaking of trying the products, you guys try a fuck ton of products. I mean,
have you seen the new reviews?
Yeah, you guys are on Instagram all the time. Like, all right, well, this company just gave us a bunch of free shit, so we're going to be talking about how bad or how good it is.
I mean, we try to keep it 100 at all times. I feel like that's what's so tricky about being on such a public platform, because somebody has something to say about everything. And so how can you navigate that with grace?
Right.
Because Brandon and I show nothing but love for other people, and we have nothing but love for other people. And so we're not here to spread love. We're not here to show love.
We're here to spread love and show love.
Yeah, both of those. We're not here to spread hate or anything like that. And so how to navigate some of like the negative comments we get on like certain brands we try, and like it's just like if
it's trial and error.
Yeah,
like
it's trial and error.
You learn and you grow. Like,
yeah.
you know, there's this community, you're always learning something or figuring something out.
But it's a very like it's sometimes it can be tough to navigate in saying the right or wrong thing without like being chastised for it. You know, like just because I like distillate doesn't mean that like you have to. And you know, everyone's body's different and it affects everybody's body's different. And I feel like people sometimes forget that. But that's something where like we try to be very 100% about and authentic in what we like and what we don't like, especially when people are giving us products. And that's something we say beforehand, like, hey, if we like this, like we're not gonna lie about it. Like this might be good for somebody out there, but we don't have to agree with it necessarily, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, got to keep it 100.
Yeah.
Always do. What products you guys fuck with right now?
Ooh, okay. So I just recently tried. I was gonna go back to high voltage and get this today, but like I've been. So there's this brand called 918 OG, and they just came out with these freeze-dried strawberries that are hash infused, and it's just like strawberries and avocado oil and then hash. They're so good. So it's like a bag of 200, and I ate like 2 full strawberries, I guess you could say, and it was like a very long-term and very chill high.
So how many per milligram strawberry wise?
So it was like 1 gram equals 1 gram of strawberry equals 10 milligrams of THC.
That's dope. We were literally just talking about that. I saw that. I think I saw it on your guys' Instagram, and I saw it on somebody else's Instagram about these hash infused freeze-dried strawberries. And I didn't realize they were I wish I would have known they were at high voltage because we would have bought some while I was there, but it is what it is. Yeah, that sounds delicious. I've tried, what was it? The free-dried ice cream sandwich from JKJ.
Oh, these are free-dried
strawberries.
Got it.
That's what I'm saying, dog.
I have those in my cereal, you know?
You put those in your cereal?
See, this is what...
Yeah,
the thing that I really liked about them is like with edibles, it gets hard because I'm in this phase of my life where I'm trying to be mindful of what I put in my body, and without the extra sugars and the extra additives. This was nice that it was like 2 ingredients. Like literally in the ingredients list it says
that's attractive.
Strawberries and avocado oil. That's all the ingredients were.
And so
for me, that's super attractive because less is more. Now with that, like if somebody's trying to dose it out, it may not be the easiest thing to dose, but I'm a high doser. So for me, it was like, let's play this game of chance. Let's go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be mindful, right? Like some of that stuff. Like I had like a cosmic gummy the other day, and it legit made me sick. Right? It's just disgusting. Right?
Ooh.
So it's like, you know, a healthier alternative is always a better option for sure.
What other products you guys fucking with?
Yeah, for sure.
My Mammoth cart.
Always. Mammoth,
it's
always.
Super Skunk. And Super, is that right?
Yeah, Super Skunk by Smoky Okies.
Yeah, and it's bomb. It's like if you want to say indica, it's something that like calms my nerves. Like I can hit it in the middle of the day, and I feel like it kind of like just chills me out where I need to be. But also it's nice in the nighttime too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been jamming with that.
Honestly, we've been heavy on dabs lately. Mammoth just came out with 2 new runs of dabs, which are really good, Woolly Mammoth. And then Divine, I've been really enjoying Divine's Litter Box number 7.
Number 7.
It is. I bought it 2 different times, and I'm about to go back and get it a third if somebody has it. But it is like such a good high. And I feel like in dabs, it's kind of hard to find especially in hash, like a good sativa high. And this was very much so like sativa leaning. Like I felt like I wanted to just like grind after I take it every time.
Do you guys like to use concentrate?
Yeah, I mean, I do on and off. I'm definitely more of a flower person. Like I would say if I was gonna break it down into percentages, I'm probably like 80% flower, 20% the rest of my everything else. But I would say
totally hear you.
But we did pick up some Divine while we were in Oklahoma because I've heard it's phenomenal. And we got some Chem Cherry. But we smoked it out of a Rokin Stinger, which is a new product on the market. But it wasn't. I think while that product, the Rokin Stinger is awesome, it's just not. It's not a dab rig at the end of the day, right? It's like not an actual like a full setup with a torch and whatnot. So it's just different, the high that you get from using like a Puffco or like a honey badger compared to using like glass. So it's like, it's hard to get the full experience not using glass.
I personally love using glass.
I know,
like
same.
Puffcos, they're great convenience whenever you're traveling or you're on the go or you're camping or something like that. But like other than that, glass pieces all the way. I can taste it so much better. And like I feel like I don't know. Glass is like the OG flower,
Yeah, I feel like the high is better. Like I just feel like with Puffcos, I feel like the concentrate goes to waste and I go through it so fast. And I feel like it really, like, at a certain, like, after the second run, it just burns and my dab feels just super burned and, like, gross.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you.
Personally. You
know?
And
you could customize your experience way more with glass rather than doing it with, like, a Puffco or a Stinger.
Absolutely.
You feel, and the whole, and I think there's a nuance of doing it with glass and, like, especially if your glass is clean and you throw some fresh water in it. It's got like, it's a ritual almost of getting that set up and then taking that dab.
Really is.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say that's something where I used to be like, oh, all my friends keep their glass so clean. I've never been that. But as of recent, now that I've been using my dab rig more, my glass stays pretty clean, and it's something I take pride in now. I haven't told you this. This is a recent occurrence. Like I wanted to do it in the last 5 days. It's like very recent.
What kind of flower are you guys smoking on?
What are we smoking on?
Ooh.
I don't know. Oh, it was in my grinder. You know when it's in your grinder, and I just don't remember what I put in there.
Yeah, honestly. So I used to love flower, and since concentrates and other options are more of an availability to me now, I'm super sensitive to smoke, and so I find flower, like, even if it's like great flower grown super clean, it really hurts my throat. So for me, I wake up the next morning and my throat's completely shot. So it's not worth it. And so I've been big into concentrates. So honestly, it's been about a year since I've actually purchased flower. It's been a long time. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't really use it. But I would say Charlie's Sunset or Chemical Sunset was the last
I tried that too.
Smoking.
I think we smoked it together, the Sunset.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
It was pretty good stuff. All right, let's do this. All right, so Oklahoma's going through a lot of changes, right? You got the medical stuff that's going on, metrics coming through, right? Let's fast forward a little bit in terms of what y'all are doing, right? Let's imagine it's 5 years from now. It's recreational. You're from 100 episodes, now you're up to like 1,000. What does the Cannabis Hangout look like? What are you building? What do you expect it to look like in the next 5 years?
Okay. Well, this is exciting. These are our goals we're talking about.
I know, these are big deals. So Brannan and I we just had this vision where we want to be, a lot of people talk about like financial freedom, and we would like that, but I think we crave time freedom more. And so the ability we like both really want camper vans and want to be able to go state to state and spend time in each state and really integrate ourselves within the community.
Like travel with the podcast.
Yeah, and travel with the podcast, talk to people in these states, get deeper within like, patient stories and, like different brands in different states. Just give people more of an opportunity to get to know the people in their states, I feel like. Oklahoma will always be our home base no matter what, and we will ride hard, but we want to be able to explore other states and tap into other communities because I feel like the lack of education within all communities is the same, and we want to be that gap that can bridge all of that and connect different communities together. Because you guys are sitting in Vegas right now, and we're in Oklahoma, and we're having a podcast, and we're homies. And every time y'all come into town, we try and link up. It's just cool that we've built this connection. Yeah. And anytime we come to Vegas, we know exactly who we're gonna hit up. And so it's just cool building these connections around the U.S. And so why not get other people to connect with one another? Yeah. So I know that we just want to have that freedom to do what we want to do and just grow within the podcast, grow our reach, talk to people in different countries, like forget about the States, see what it's like in other parts of the world where we haven't even tapped into yet.
There's so much opportunity too, and like we're not even full time with the podcast. Like this has been like a really big side hustle that feels like a full-time job to us, but like that's another one of our goals is to be able to go full-time and focus on the Cannabis Hangout solely and be able to do so many more cool, exciting things with, more time on our hands.
Dope. I can see it, right?
Yeah,
like
I love
truck,
that.
like the truck,
I could see
with the,
like
you
a
know,
super
the
dope
girls
trailer.
are like, trucking down the thing.
Or like a super sick
they're like,
tour
hey, this
van.
is the Cannabis Hangout. You know, they're on
Killing
the side of the road.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's
like,
wrap.
I love it.
People hop on the bus to do their podcasts. Just smells, reeks
Hell
like
yeah,
weed.
dude.
Nice little exercise in visualization, right? It's good for you. It's good for you.
I can't wait to get on that fucking tour bus.
I know, right? Well, listen,
Yeah, come on.
let's.
All are welcome.
Where can they find you? What do you have coming up? Let's give you guys a plug. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Let's tell them where they can find
Thank
you.
you guys for having us.
So we're on Instagram at the Cannabis Hangout. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, and Google Play, or thecannabishangout.com.
Yeah, and see what's up. Thank you guys for having
Yeah.
us. This was so much fun. This is like our first tune-in podcast, and with a lot of trial and error, I feel like we nailed it in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
you-
have to do this again and link up and catch up over like live and stuff whenever we're like in the proper Sabah.
Not the worst way to end
that's
the
good, you know?
podcast,
It's
right?
very, very memorable.
Well, that was it.
that
The Cannabis Hangout gals.
That was good. That was a good one.
That was a good one. If you didn't catch it at the Cannabis Hangout on Instagram, I think they're on Spotify. I think they're pretty much everywhere you can listen to podcasts. The Cannabis
Great podcast, by the way.
It's
right?
a phenomenal
like, the way
podcast.
that they
put it together.
the post edit, right? And
They have great questions.
and then their voices, right? I like to listen to some of their voices.
They have
is
soothing.
that weird to
they
say?
have no. They have
It's
soothing
like
voices.
They have really good, really nice.
They definitely have. They have great mic voices. I listened. I listened to their Charlie interview before we did Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Just to hear what questions they asked and make sure I wasn't really diving in too hard on the questions they already asked. But it was so cool, and I was like, oh shit, okay, that's a couple points I can pick up from them.
Right. Yeah.
No doubt.
100p.
Yeah, 100p, 100p. But well, shit. What do we have anything?
Tomorrow
Oh,
we
yeah.
have a pop-up 5 to 8 from Sanctuary. We have listen, come down, make a purchase, pick up a hustler, right? Pick up a hustler. We're going to give you a free taco. We're going to give you a free culture and cannabis pre-roll. We have live music. Come down and network, right? Come down. It's a pop-up party at the Sanctuary in North Las Vegas from 5 to 8 p.m.
It's a laugh.
Almost got it. And then, yes, there you go. Let's give it up for the Sanctuary. That's our partners, right? The Sanctuary. Yes,
Keep
you're
going.
welcome. You're welcome. And then, listen, the Hustler drops officially in
Wait,
Oklahoma.
wait, hold on.
The Hustler drops officially in Oklahoma this November. 24 karat gold, infused 1 gram. It's coming, guys. It's coming. We're going to come down. We're going to hand make it. It might just be me. It might just be me and Tony. We're going to come down. We're going to hand make these things. We're going to bring them to you.
We'll see what happens. We will be at the sesh on November 13th.
Yes.
And JC is turning 85 years old 2 days before.
That is
So
correct.
come wish him happy birthday. Does he look great for 85?
Yeah, not bad, right? Right.
Not too bad
like
at all. He even shaved today because he had hair that had to grow still. So it's all going down. And then Joy's birthday. It's also Joy's birthday right then too.
It's also Joy's birthday.
So we're gonna and Chuck's coming with us.
And Chuck's coming.
Hold on, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks for round of applause. Do you know how hard it is to get fucking Chuck to come on these goddamn trips? He's got like a billion things going on. So he's coming on the trip with us. We're all pumped. It's gonna be a great time. Come hang out. If you want to connect, collab, hit us up. We'll probably be there. I think it's like the 11th or like the 10th through like the 15th or 16th, something like that. We'll have more definitive dates next week. And then next week.
What's happening next week?
Who?
Oh, who? Mike Jones. Who?
Mike Jones. We got Mike Jones coming to Sapphire Event Club on October 21st. We got some great brands. We have Aether Gardens. We have Sacred Oil. We got Besame Wellness.
Calvara Drinks is in the house.
Calvara Drinks are in the house. Who else we got? I know we got one more.
I think that's it.
Okay, that's all we got.
That's all we
But
got.
we'll be rocking and rolling. 8 to 10 open bar, guys. Listen,
bar.
come get some free drinks. If you went to MJ BizCon, you got a pass. Or if you're in the cannabis industry, you have your your agent card. You can get in for free. If you don't, send $5. Unless you maybe know me, send me a text. Maybe I can get you on the list or something. I'm not going to make any promises, but we can make it work. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time.
Oh, did we lose it? Rick, did we lose it?
Almost.
We're back?
Almost.
Okay. Well,
That's the podcast.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Full Time Tony. This is JC Cups. We'll see you all next Thursday. Peace.
Peace.